Sorry. Hey everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? It is currently 10:05 on December 5th of 2014. I had a comment come up in one of my recent videos, and basically it was, sorry if you can hear the TV. Basically he was just saying, that I should check out Gordon and everything. Gordon Trucking Incorporation. For those of you that have been following me, from the start, whatnot, but those of you that know, the company that we were with before Night was Gordon. And this video is just basically about why we left and how we would describe Gordon. Well, let me just say from the bat, Gordon is, in my book, will always be a good company to work for. We had issues that could not be resolved. No, they wouldn't be resolved. Because of people at the terminal that we were at. I'm not going to say which terminal it was. Most of you should probably actually know, but we had a big. It wasn't an issue with money. The money was good. The pay was good. The miles were not there. They were definitely not there. Basically, all we did was run California. That's it. We would stay out for 2 weeks at a time, and home every once in a while within those 2 weeks. But that was a good thing. We liked it, but that's not what we signed up for. We were at Gordon. They have certain fleets. Like almost dedicated runs. We were not on a dedicated run. We were on a certain fleet. They call it the U.S. fleet. Basically, the U.S. fleet is just running all 48. We were on that fleet. We chose to be on that fleet, but as I said before, all we did was run California. Up in Oregon and Washington once in a while, but mostly California. Sorry, guys. Now, the dispatcher we had was actually the only dispatcher for that fleet. Kind of stupid in my opinion. Really stupid. He was. Some of you should know of, or have heard of, bad dispatchers. Well, he was at the top of it. He had no respect for his drivers whatsoever. He would argue with you every chance he got. He would, he'd hang up on you. He wouldn't even answer the phone if he saw your name on there. Even when you're on the phone with him, he wouldn't even listen to you. He'd just sit there, and you can tell that he wasn't paying attention. He wasn't listening to what you had or were trying to get from him or whatever. And the terminal manager at the time did absolutely nothing about it. And like I said, he was the only dispatcher. So, yet, in order to stay on that fleet, we can't leave. There's no other dispatcher. There's nobody to dispatch. Actually, there was one, but she was nighttime dispatch. Basically, the best dispatcher we had, really, was at night. Not night, but night. Like nighttime. She worked the night shifts. She'd come in at 5 and leave at 6. But with Gordon, we didn't run at night. We never ran at night. So, That's also another good thing about Gordon. You don't really run at night. All their loads are during the day. If there's any loads that need to deliver at night, you're in the area. So it's either you're going to do it while you're on your 10 or, something like that. But you're never really driving during the night. At least we never did. And so basically what I'm trying to say is the reason why we left was there was no respect. The truck we had, I love the truck, don't get me wrong. We loved the truck. It was the first Freightliner we had. It was actually the first truck we had getting back into trucking. I don't think I ever told you guys about this, but before that, he had taken 4 years off as a yard hostler for Walmart DC. So he left Walmart and went back on the road, and that's when I went, and we went with Gordon. They were a good company. They looked like a good company, and they were. They've proven to be a good company. You hear all the stuff about them. Some are not good, but some aren't like the rest that you hear with all these other companies. I have to say that between Gordon and Knight, I'd probably go with Gordon again and again. Different fleet, though, different manager, whole different yard, 9 yards. I mean, the expression. Because of that one dispatcher and that one fleet. Now you might ask, well, why didn't you just, change fleets or whatever? The reason why was the only other fleets they really had in our area at the time was I think they called it the 97 fleet. And I still know a driver that runs that fleet. And we should have went and done that. And for those of you that don't know what it is, the 97 fleet is basically you run 97 to 5, and that's it, up into Washington and back down. So it's like saying I-5. You're calling I-5 a fleet, 5 fleet, whatever you call it. But this is Highway 97. The back roads in Oregon. So that's what that is. Now, if we do, I'm not saying we are, but if we do ever go with Gordon again, it will probably be on that fleet or on a. They do a lot of Costco, so it'll probably either be that or on a Costco fleet or something. But now that we're out of a different area, it might be a little bit harder in a way, if you know what I mean, because Gordon mainly runs Oregon, Washington, and California. Mainly, that's where you'll see him all the time. Excuse me, guys. And for those of you that know, I live in Nevada, whatever you call it. Whatever some of you call it. I call it Nevada, so I'm going to stick with that. But I live in Nevada now, just outside of California. And I know they have a yard here. They have a drop yard here in town. But I don't know what kind of fleet they have that would run this. I think it'd just be a regular fleet, a regular like, regional, something like that, what you would call it. But like I said, not saying we will. Maybe me personally, I'll probably go back with them in the future, but as far as him, I do not know. But so that's about it with that. Like I said, the reason why we left was because of the lack of respect we would get over there, and I forgot to tell you about the truck. like I was saying, the truck, we both loved it. It was a good truck, but it had problems. Let's see, it was 2013. The truck was a 2011. So, some of you might think it's 2 years older or 2 years old. What could be so bad about that? Usually around 2 years old with, semis. In my point of view, that's when they start, having problems, just depending on how the person who first got it treated it and how every other driver treated it afterwards. And the drivers that did that, it was hard to tell. I mean, when we first got the truck, it was clean, and it wasn't detailed. It wasn't none of that. And Gordon does do detailing for those of you thinking about going to Gordon. They do detailing. They clean their trucks before they put you in it. But our truck was in a drop yard, so it wasn't near a yard or a main yard that had a shop and everything, so it didn't get detailed. So basically, we went with that truck, and we would have problems with the APU, the engine. We had a Cummins in it, Freightliner Cascadia with the Cummins. Yeah, it was a 2011 Freightliner Cascadia with the Cummins, and an APU, and the APU would just not work. Period. They refused. Dispatch refused. Our dispatcher refused to send us to a shop to get it fixed. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure if you have an APU hooked up to your truck, that truck is not supposed to idle whatsoever. I mean, you can't shut it off, can't do none of that stuff. So that's what happened with our truck. We couldn't idle, period. So if that APU went out, we couldn't idle. We couldn't sleep right, The best we can do is roll down the windows. That's it. And it was okay, We weren't at a truck stop half the night, half the week. It was all mostly yards, terminals, stuff like that we were at. And Gordon does have some of the nicest terminals that I've seen so far. So, nicest showers is what I meant. Nicest showers, bathrooms, and stuff. So, but that is the main reason why we left was because of the lack of respect, and they just would not let us, get into a newer truck. It didn't have to be newer, it just had to work better. At least have an APU. Something to keep us, cool and warm and whatever we needed, But it was just, we weren't getting anywhere with that. But the pay has gotten better from what I hear from drivers about it. So, if we were getting paid good back then definitely, if we ever go back, it's going to be better. So, all right, guys, I'm going to leave you at that. Subscribe if you haven't. Like the video. And comment if you have a question. And yeah, big shout out to the guy who commented. I'm sorry I forgot your username. I believe it was Blue Falcon 455. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry. But big shout out to you, man. Thanks for the comment. And I'll get back with you guys later. Take care.